युहुन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वकालीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम् सिंगुरुं हि स्वयं सत्यः प्रज्ञाभक्तिविनीतयः निहित्तिश्चापि वृता नित्यं गुरुं प्रणमाम्यहम् सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। We start with 47. 47. Okay, start.
शम्भुध्यान वसंत संगीरिदामेघजीर्णच्छदा
स्वस्ता भक्तिलताच्छटा विलसिता
पुण्यप्रवालश्रिताः दीप्यन्ते गुणकोरकाचमपुष्पाणि सद्वासना ज्ञानानन्दसुधामरन्दलहरी संविदितफलाभ्युन्नतिः नित्यानन्दरसालयं सुरमुनिस्वान्तामुदाश्रयम्
स्वच्छं सत्यसेकं कर्षहृत् सद्वासनाविष्कृतम् शम्भुध्यानसरोवरं व्रजमनो हंसावतंसस्थिरम् किं क्षुद्राश्रयपल्वलभ्रमणसञ्जातश्रमं प्राप्स्यसि
आनन्दामृतपूरिता हरपदाम् भुजालपालोद्यता स्थैर्योपघ्नमुपेत्य भक्तिलतिका शास्त्रोपशाखान्विता उच्चैर्मानसकायमानपटलीम् आक्रम्य निष्कल्मषा नित्याभीष्टफलप्रदा भवतु मे सत्कर्म संवर्धिता संध्यारम्भ विजृम्भितं श्रुतिशिरस्थानान्तराधिष्ठितम् सप्रेम भ्रमराभिरामं सकृत् सवासनाशोभितम् भोगीन्द्राभरणं समस्तसुमनः पूज्यं गुणाविष्कृतम् सेवे श्रीगिरिमल्लिकार्जुनमहालिङ्गं शिवालिङ्गितम् भृङ्गेच्छानटनोत्कटः करिमदग्राही स्फुरन्माधवा क्लादो नादयुतो महासितवपुः पञ्चेषु नाचादृतः सत्पक्षः सुमनोवनेषु स पुनः साक्षान्मदीये मनोराजीवे भ्रमराधिपो विहरतां श्रीशैलवासी विभुः.
So we saw up to this verse. The last few verses, so he has been composing in such a way that many of the phrases that are employed will have double meaning, slesha. And this is continued further. So, saprema bhramaradhira rajive bhramaradipo viharatam shrishailavasi. So this is basically Mallikarjuna. So Srishaile Mallikarjuna. So that was described in the last couple of verses. Now, today we will be seeing verse 52 and 53, where once again we find a beautiful metaphor that is being brought by Bhagavad Pada here. So you chant the verse 52 now. Karunyamritavarshinam
Karunyamritavarshinam Karunyamritavarshinam
घनविपद्ग्रीष्मच्छिदाकर्मठम्
घनविपद्ग्रीष्मच्छिदाकर्मठम् घनविपद्ग्रीष्मच्छिदाकर्मठम्
विद्या सस्यफलोदयाय
विद्या सस्यफलोदयाय विद्या सस्यफलोदयाय
सुमनः संसेव्यमिच्छाकृतिम्
सुमनः संसेव्यमिच्छाकृतिम् सुमनः संसेव्यमिच्छाकृतिम्
नृत्यद्भक्तमयूरमद्रिनिलयम्
नृत्यद्भक्तमयूरमद्रिनिलयम् नृत्यद्भक्तमयूरमद्रिनिलयम्
चञ्चज्जटामण्डलम्
चञ्चज्जटामण्डलम् चञ्चज्जटामण्डलम्
शम्भो वाञ्छति
शम्भो वाञ्छति शम्भो वाञ्छति
नीलकन्धर
नीलकन्धर नीलकन्धर
सदा त्वां मे मनश्चातकः
सदा त्वां मे मनश्चातकः सदा त्वां मे मनश्चातकः
मे मनश्चातकः त्वां वाञ्छति is what is stated in simple terms. Me manashchatakaha tvam vanchati. So here manaha is taken as chatakaha. So chataka in Sanskrit literature is a special word which is supposed to take water directly from the clouds and not from elsewhere. And therefore, the description where you find the word chataka appearing will be where there is a longing or yearning for something. So there we say chatakaha. So this chataka, since it takes only water from the clouds directly, one can easily imagine that how this bird will be yearning for dark clouds to drop water. Now, me manaschatakaha tvam vanchati. Now, since this mind is taken as chataka, so this Paramashiva has to be described as cloud. So that word is Nilakandhara. So this Nilakandhara, so it can refer to both cloud as well as Parameshvara. So how do we understand that? Kam dharatiti kandharaha. Suppose you say, kam here refers to water. Okay. Kam dharatiti kandharaha. So nilaschaso kandharascha nilakandharaha. So this will refer to the cloud. Hey nilakandhara. So is an addressing word which can be used to refer to cloud as well as Parameshvara. Now, Kandhara refers to Griva also. So there, Kam dharatiti means Shiraha dharatiti Kandharaha. This word Kam has several meanings. So Kam dharatiti Kandharaha, you take it as neck. So in which case, Nilaschaso Kandharascha Nilakandharaha. This is Nilakanthaha, Parameshvaraha. Okay, Nilagrivaha, we use, no? So Nilakandhara. So we can just say. So this is Nilakandhara refers to Nilakanthaha in one sense. In other sense, it refers to this cloud. Manaschatakaha tvam vanchati. So is the word. Now, this tvam me manaschatakaha vanchati. So we leave this. This is the last line is very simple. Sada tvam vanchati. So the rest is all descriptions which should be applicable both to cloud as well as to Parameshvara. That is how the verse has been composed. Now the first verse is, first line Karunyamritavarshinam. So Karunyamritavarshinam. Amrita refers to water. Okay. So Karunyamritavarshinam. So here Amritavarshinam is applicable to cloud. So Karunya Rupa Amritavarshinam, Karunyamritavarshinam. So Karunyamritavarshinam. Then Ghana Vipadgrishmachhida Karmatham. So Karunyameva Amritam, Karunyamritam. So Tadvarshinam means the one who actually showers, okay, compassion always. Now Ghana Vipadgrishmachhida Karmatham is the second phrase. Ghana Vipadgrishmachhida Karmatham. What is Karmatha? Karmatha refers to someone who is deeply engaged, deeply committed to work. So it can be either religious or other activity. Karma kartum sheelam yasya saha karmatha. So karma karane samartha is also karmatha. In both sense one can use this word. Okay. So some people who are deeply committed to the Sandhyavandanam, etc. So we just say karmatha, we just say. So there also we use the word. So he will not be happy even if a few minutes go this way, that way. So there also we use the word karmatha. Okay. So there is a athach pratyaya which is added to this word. Karma kartum sheelam. Now, karmataha, putra karmataha. Grishmachhida karmatham is the word. So with reference to the cloud, so it is committed to, so saving you from the hot summer, and therefore Grishmachhida. Chhida means chedanam. Okay. Grishmachhida karmatham. So this goes. Then we have Ghana Vipat. Is another phrase. Okay. Ghana Vipat Grishmachhida karmatham. So Ghana Vipat means what will happen if there is no shower. Then in those days, obviously, most of the lands were looking for. Nowadays you have various means by which you can keep watering the fields. So Ghana Vipat Grishma means, so this can create a famine situation. That is what is described as Ghana Vipat. This Grishma Kala, even today in certain places, so where there is no other facility to water, this is what in Tamil we call Vanam Patta Bhumi. There is a phrase which we say Vanam Patta Bhumi means, so that which looks for sky. This. Okay. Ghana Vipat Grishmachhida Karmatham. So Ghana Vipat Sasya Shoshana Rupam Yat Vipat. Ghana Vipat means the deep danger. Okay. Ghana Vipat Grishmachhida Karmatham. So with reference to the cloud, this is the meaning. Now with reference to Parameshwara, Ghana Vipat means Ghana Vipat Grishma. So here we have to take it as a metaphor. So this Grishma is, so Ghana Vipat means you are in deep danger. So when will you be in deep danger? Either you are simply carried away by grief, or you are suffering from huge losses. Okay, any of them. So a sense of dissatisfaction that you are experiencing, that itself is great vipat. Ghana Vipadeva Grishma. So Grishma. Okay, a sense of burning inside. Okay, that is what Agitapa. Ghana Vipad Grishmachhida Karmatham. So Parameshwara is one who is bent upon through his compassion, Karunyamritavarshinem, Tena Ghana Vipadgrishmachida Karmatam. The cloud is also Karmatha. Parameshwara is also Karmatha. See, for devotees, he is committed to Ghana Vipadgrishmachida Karmatam. Then you have the third phrase. Vidyaha Sasya Phalodayaya. Why is he showering? So there, the Kavi is describing Sasya Phalodayaya. Okay. So Sasya Phalasya Udayaya. So this is very evident with reference to cloud. Okay. Only then the crops, they may shoot initially, but then if they have to produce a good yield, then Ghanavipadgrish Machida Karmatam. It is only through the rain. Neelakanthara has to bless. Now, with reference to this Vyakti, okay, individual, how do we explain with reference to Parameshwara? Vidya eva sasyam, vidya sasyam, tasya phalam. So here we need to understand this Vidya. In fact, yesterday I was reading Adhyasa Bhashya. There it is said, what is it? Tametam adhyasam avidyeti manyante. Panditaha avidyeti manyante. Okay? Tad viparjena. Tametam lakshanam adhyasam panditaha avidyeti manyante.
Tad viparjena doshena.
No.
Tad vivekena cha.
Tad vivekena cha.
Vastusvarupavadharanam vidyam ahuhu.
Tad vivekena cha vastusvarupavadharanam vidyam ahuhu is what he says. Understand? So, avidyakhyam adhyasam panditaha avidyeti manyante. Tad vivekena cha Vastusvarupavadharanam vidyamahu. You just take. So Vastusvarupavadharanam is Atmarupam yad vastu tasya svarupavadharanam vidyam ahu. Now, in general one can say, so avidya, any vastu, vastunaha yad svarupam tasya avadharanam nishchayatmakam jnanam. So that is Vidya. Now, tasya phalam kim ityukto brahmananda vaptihi soosnyute sarvan kaman saha. This is phala. So now, this is what is Vidya. That is why we say Savidya ya vimuktaye. Okay. So other Vidyas are not. So now, Tadrisha Vidya Rupa Sasya Phalavaptihi, if you want to have, then there has to be a Shabda. So you may read Vedanta, but then the Vedanta has to come into practice. Okay? So there you need the blessing of Parameshwara. So therefore, Vidya Sasya Phalodayaya. So this blessing has to be there, that the knowledge has to come into action. And therefore, tasya phalam swatraiva. So atraiva brahmananda vaptihi. So that phalasya udayaya. Vidyaha sasya phalodayaya. So for you to reach the state of a Jivan Mukta. So sthita prajna. So for that, Vidya Sasya Phalodayaya. Then he says, Sumanas Samsevyam. So Sumanas Samsevyam means Sumanobhihi Samsevyam, Sumanas Samsevyam. Okay. So this for Jnanam Maheshwaradi Chet. So Sumanas Samsevyam means for you to have this phala, so you have to take your heart to Parameshwara. Okay? Taihi Sumanobhihi Samsevyam. Sumanas Samsevyam. Samsevyam means Sevitum Arham is what it means. Sumanas Samsevyam. Then you can take with reference to Megha. So this Sumanaha, there you can take it as those who are Karshakas. Okay. So this so there, Su, if you just take Shobhanam, in fact, Shobhane, so Shobhane Sasyadi Phale Manaha Yeshante Sumanaha. Okay. Shobhane Mangala Rupe Manaha Yeshante Sumanaha, you can take as generally devotees. So as far as the Krishivalas are concerned, for them, what is Shobhanam? They have to get his feet. So Tatraiva Manaha Yeshante Sumanaha. Taihi Samsevyam. See, Samsevyam means, so they will be always keen for cloud. In fact, even in Bhagavata we have this Krishna Leela. So there, all these people, they wanted to do worship. Why worship Indra? So that is where this Krishna takes all the form of Gopikas. So their story is, so without Megha, so none of the crops will grow, and therefore without crop growing, we will not be able to take care of the cattle. And therefore, so Tasmin Sasyadi Phale Manaha. Okay. Sumanasam Sevyam. This is the meaning. So it is applicable both to the cloud as well as to Parameshwara. Sumanasam Sevyam. In fact, all people will not be able to appreciate the importance of devotion, and therefore, Shobhanam Manaha Yeshante. Those people who have refined taste, okay, they are Sumanaha Manushyaha. Sumanaha can refer to Devaha. Sumanaha can refer to normal Manushyaha. Sumanaha can refer to the Krishivalaha also. So Sumanasam Sevyam. Then we have the phrase Ichhakritim. This is very simple. Ichhakritihi means the one who can take form as he likes. Okay. Megha can take the form, any shape it can take. And so too Parameshwara can take any form. And therefore, Ichhakritim. Ichharupa Akritihi. So the one who can take. So this is Svechaya Akaraha Grihitam Shakyate Yaihi. Okay. So Ichhakritina. Sumanasam Sevyam Ichhakritim. So we find 5 phrases now. Karunyamritavarrishinam Ghana Vipadgrishmachida Karmatam Vidya Sasyas Halodayaya Sumanasam Sevyam Ichhakritim. Then, so Vidyasasya Phalodayaya Sumanassevyam. Okay. So Vidyarupa Sasya Phalodayaya. You can take it that way. Then Nrityad Bhakta Mayuram Adrinilayam. Adrinilayam is very simple. Okay. So Adrinilayam means the one who resides in Kailasa. Adrinilayam. And the same is true of mountain. The same true of clouds also. Okay. Nrityad Bhakta Mayuram Adrinilayam. Then Nrityad Bhakta Mayuram is a phrase that is applicable to cloud. The moment they see the cloud, the peacocks will start dancing. Okay. So Nrityad Bhakta. So Yasya Darshanena Nartanam Kurbanti. So this is applicable. Now this is true of the devotees also. Okay. So if you see, particularly if you see some of these Shivaratri, so there is a kind of delight that some of the North Indians have. It's amazing. So Nrityad Bhakta, they just simply start dancing. Okay. So that is really touching. I mean, when I saw somewhere on Shivaratri occasion, I went to some of these places, and so they do a lot of travel, Padayatra, very long distance. And the moment they reach somewhere, I mean, they just start dancing on the road itself. So they do that kind of, the moment they try to gain entry into that location. Okay. So that is how one can understand this phrase. Datyad bhakta mayuram. Okay. Then Adri Nilayum. Last phrase that we have is Chanchajjata Mandalam. Chanchat means something which is moving. Okay. So Chanchajjata Mandalam. Jata, in one sense, you may have to take it as matted hair with reference to Parameshwara. Jata with reference to the cloud. You can take it as something which is like that. So it is basically Vidyut. Okay. So that looks like hair for that. Okay. Chanchajjata Mandalam. So with reference to cloud, so the kind of lightning that you see, so that is like jata, Chanchajjata Mandalam. And in fact, if you see some, of course, we should be very careful. So when there is a huge lightning, you can just see it is just like flowing. You see, many streaks will be there together. Okay, Chanchajjata Mandalam will be applicable to both Megha as well as Parameshwara. Chanchajjata Mandalam. Then Shambho Vanchati Neelakandhara. This word Shambhu, okay, Shambhu is to be understood as a derived word. How do we give that meaning? Sham means Mangalam. Okay. Then Shambhu. Sham Mangalam Bhavati Asmatu. You can just say, right? Shambhu. Sham Mangalam Bhavati Asmatu. Iti Shambhu. But then there is a interesting sutra which I happen to see today. Okay, in connection with that. We have Vibhuhu, Prabhuhu, etc. What is the sutra? I don't know. Okay. So there is an interesting sutra. So you learn this. Viprasambhyo dhvasam nyayam. Viprasambhyo. Viprasambhya. Viprasambhya means after them. Okay. Viprasambhyo dhvasam nyayam.
Viprasambodhyasamgyam.
Du asamnyayam.
Dvasamgyayam.
Du asamnyayam. Dvasamnyayam. Viprasambhya.
Viprasambhyo
dvasamnyayam. Viprasambhyo dvasamnyayam. This is the sutra. Now, this explains the formation of the words Vibhuhu, Prabhuhu, Sambhu. Vibhuhu means Visheshato Bhavati iti Vibhuhu. Okay? You can say Vyapakaha, Sarvagataha. Okay? So, Visheshato Bhavati iti Vibhuhu, you can just say. Now, Prabhuhu, Sambhuhu also. So, Janita, that is the meaning that is given. Okay? Sambhavati. Sambhu. This is the word that is used. Asamnyayam. So, it is something which has been given. When it is samnya, it can be vibhu. So, it is for this reason. Now, this shambhuhu, for that, so there is a vartika which has been added. Okay. Mitadhruvadibhyaha upasankhyanam.
Mitadhruvadibhyaha upasankhyanam.
Mitadhruvadibhyaha upasankhyanam. This is something which is very instructive. That is why I thought of telling this to you. So, mitadhruvadibhyaha. So, through the adi, you have to take some shambhu. So mitadruvadibhyaha upasankhyanam means mita dru adi, right? Mitadruvadibhyaha upasankhyanam. This is what it says. So there the example that is given, okay, mitadruhu, okay, then shatadruhu, okay. Mitadruhu, shatadruhu, shambhuhu. Okay. So these are the words that are derived through this. Now here the interesting thing is Sham Mangalam Bhavati Asmat. Okay. The other way, so in fact, this sometimes you can take this nichi to be antarbhavita. So in which case, Sham Bhavayati iti Shambhu. Shatadruhu, Shatam Bhavati iti you can say. Shatam Bhavayati iti Shatadruhu if you just say. See, Dravati. So Druhu means there Dravati iti. Mitam Dravati iti Mitadruhu. Now, Shatam, so the Antarbhavita niche if you say, in fact we have in Aghamarshana Sukta, Imam me Gange Mune Saraswati Shutudri is the word that we have. Imam me Gange Mune Saraswati Shutudristo Magum Sakata Parushniya. So this Shutudri is same as Shatadru. Okay, so this is what is written in commentary. So in Veda we have Shutudri. Now Shatam, so if you just say Mitam Dravayati, so similarly Shatam Dravati or Dravayati, if you just put Antarbhavita niche. Okay. Now Shatam Dravayati means there is a huge river from which there are hundreds of tributaries that go. Understand? This is how you can understand as Shatadruhu. Okay. So there is a huge river which gives hundreds of tributaries. So this is Shatadruhu. Shatadru. Now similarly, let us say Shambhu. So Mangalam Bhavati is one meaning. Mangalam Bhavayati, I mean Asmat, when you say, you will get similar meaning. Okay, so he is auspicious and he blesses us with auspiciousness. Okay, Shambhu. Okay. So the Shambhu katham bhavati vidyasasya phalodayaya karunyamrita varishinam. That is all. What more is required? So vidyasasya phalodayaya karunyamrita varishinam. Therefore, he is Shambhu. Okay, Shambho. Okay. Now read. Karunyamritavarishim. Karunyamritavarishim. Ghana vishmachida karmatam. Vidyasasya phalodayaya sumanas samsevyamichakritim. Nrityadbhaktamayuramadrilayam sanchacharamandalam Shambho vanchati nilakandhara sada tvam me manashchakaraha. So in this verse we found that Parameshwara is described as Nilakandhara. Okay. Nilagrivaha. Okay. Now, the next verse that we see, there is describing him as a peacock. So that is something which is very interesting. Okay. So here he referred to the entity with which the peacock delights. Now he is describing Parameshwara himself as a peacock. So the Visheshanas are like that. Akashena shikhi.
Akashena shikhi. Akashena shikhi.
Samasta phaninam netra kalapi nata
समस्तफणिनां नेत्राकलापीनत समस्तफणिनां नेत्राकलापीनत
अनुग्राहि प्रणवोपदेशनिनदैः
अनुग्राहि
प्रणवोपदेशनिनदैः अनुग्राहि प्रणवोपदेशनिनदैः केकीति योगीयते
केकीति योगीयते केकीति योगीयते
श्यामां शैलसमुद्भवां
श्यामां शैलसमुद्भवां श्यामां शैलसमुद्भवां
घनरुचिं दृष्ट्वा नटन्तं मुदा
घनरुचिं दृष्ट्वा नटन्तं मुदा घनरुचिं दृष्ट्वा नटन्तं मुदा
वेदाहन्तोपवने विहाररसिकम्
वेदान्तोपवने विहाररसिकम् वेदान्तोपवने विहाररसिकम्
नीलकण्ठं भजे
तं नीलकण्ठं भजे तं नीलकण्ठं भजे
So aham tam Neelakantham bhaje. So Neelakantha can easily be an epithet to describe Mayura, right? So Mayura has Neelakantha. Therefore, aham Neelakantham bhaje. Suppose you say. So Neelakantham bhaje, Parameshwaram bhaje. So this is a Shlesha that he wants to bring in. Here, Upavane Vihara Rasikam Neelakantham. Means the peacock wants to dance in a garden. Okay. So, but this is a special Neelakantha. Okay. So, in which garden does he want to dwell upon? Vedaham Topavane. Okay. Vedaham Topavane Vihara Rasikam. So, I dwell upon that Neelakantha who rejoices in dancing in the garden of Vedanta. Okay. Vedahantopavane vihara rasikam. So what does this imply? This implies, so even in the previous verse, you see, Vidyasasya phalodayaya. So it's a nice connection that he brings in. So if you have the devotion, then obviously you can attract the compassion. Okay? So now you have this Vedanta Vidya. And if your mind is dwelling upon this Vedanta Vidya, then Neelakantha is going to come and dance. Okay? Vedahantopavane vihara rasikam Neelakantham bhaje. So the rest of the verse, the first three padas, so there are some interesting descriptions that we find. And these descriptions will sort of fit Mayura, but if you just add one word, if you add one word, then it will go to Parameshwara. So there also the descriptions are very interesting. So if you see, the first one is Akashena Shikhi. Shikhi refers to, so that is a ini pratyaya, right? So Shikha asya asti iti Shikhi. So suppose you say, so the Shikha asya asti obviously fits for the Mayura, because there are some things like Shikha on the top of Mayura. So Shikhi. Now, Parameshwara is Shikhi. Akashena Shikhi. So, how do you explain that? How do you explain this to describe Parameshwara? Akashena Shikhi. So, I was just thinking about it. So, there is a phrase that we find in Sri Rudra also. Yutta Keshaya. Right? Yutta Keshaha. So, Vyoma Keshaha, Yutta Keshaha, etc. with me. Okay. Now, how do we understand this phrase? So, we have a certain, I think it is Vartika. Prakrityadibhyaha upasankhyanam. What is the example? We have studied. Prakrityadibhyaha upasankhyanam. Prakrityacharuhu. Okay. Now we also have usage like dhanyena dhanavan. Tritiya is used in various senses. Now dhanyena dhanavan is used to refer to that person who has wealth in the form of dhanya. So which means dhanya bhinna dhanavan. Understand? So dhanya bhinna dhanavan means his dhanam is only in the form of dhanya. Okay. So that is how we use dhanyena dhanavan. Similarly, here if you just take akashena shikhi means, so akasha bhinna shikhavan means, so there is nothing which is there. So it is Vyukta Kesha, Vyoma Kesha. Parameshwara is Vyoma Kesha. So it is in that sense, so he has used. So akashena shikhi. Then the next phrase, if you see, similarly here he uses this tritiya. Samastaphaninam netra kalapi. This is the second description. So kalapi. Kalapi means kalapaha asya astiti kalapi. Okay, how we understand the phrase like shikhi, dhani, kalapi. So what is kalapa? We use this phrase karya kalapa. You heard? So there what does it mean? Karya kalapa.
Lot of food.
Samuha. Okay. So this word kalapa is used in several senses. So kalapaha is used to refer to samuhaha. In fact, the derivation of the word kalapa is also very interesting. Okay. Kalam mapnoti kalapaha. Okay. This is one way of deriving the word. Yadva kala apyate aneneti kalapaha. So you can also use this word. So samuhaha is the meaning. So kala apyate means, so there are various parts to this. In that sense, you can understand the kalapa to be samuha. So kalapaha. So in that sense, I don't think we'll be able to explain this phrase kalapi. So this kalapi is used in the sense of bhushana. In fact, even in some of the commentaries, Mallinatha in one place, in the first sarga itself, Kumarasambhava. Okay, so there, Mukta Kalapa is a phrase that is used. Okay? So there, he explained Mukta Bhushanam. Okay? So Kalapaha, in some of the koshas, you will find Kalapa having the meaning of Bhushanam. Now, it can refer to Bhushanam in general sense, and it can refer to Barhaha also. So when you use Barhaha, the feather of the peacock, then it is directly Kalapi means peacock, like Shikhi Kalapi. Okay, if you take the meaning of kalapa to be barhaha, then it will refer to kalapi means simply peacock. Now, the other phrase that we find here is samasta phaninam netra kalapi. Okay. So, phani means serpent. Okay. Samasta phaninam netra is again a tritiya. Okay. So, neta means leader. So, phaninam neta, when you say, so it refers to Vasuki. So this Vasuki actually forms the ornament. Now Kalapaha means Bhushanam. Now for whom the Vasuki becomes the ornament. So here he has used Tritiya once again. Understand? Samasta Phaninam Neta Bhinnahayaha Vasukihi Tadeva Bhushanam is. Okay. So that is how we have to understand this. Okay. So it is an interesting usage that Bhagavad Pada has made. Okay. Akashena shikhi samasta phaninam netra kalapi. In fact, this looks like so that virodha bhasa kind of a thing. Okay. So how can akasha be shikha? Okay, akashena shikhi. Similarly, samasta phaninam netra kalapi. So the one who is ornamented with serpent, how can it be possible? Samasta phaninam netra kalapi. Then, natanugrahi pranavopadesha ninadaihi kekiti yogiyate. Yogiyate means yaha parameshwaraha giyate. Katham giyate? Keki iti giyate. Keki is a phrase which is used to refer to peacock. Why?
Peacock sounds like
Peacock sounds like that. Kekavani mayurasya. Okay. So Kekavani mayurasya, and therefore he is called Keki. Mayura is called Keki. Now Parameshwara should also be described as Keki. How do you describe? There once again he uses a tritiya. So what is the phrase that we find here? Natanugrahi pranavopadesha ninadaihi. This is a compound which has to be carefully understood. Pranavopadesha ninadaihi means shabdaihi. So what is the shabda? Pranavopadesha shabda. So Pranavopadesha Sabdaihi. So he does Pranavopadesha. Now we take this. Now that Pranava is described as Natanugrahi. There is a phrase. Okay? It is qualified by. So Natanugrahi means so those who have surrendered themselves unto this Pranavopasana, for them, anugrahi. Understand? So, natanugrahi means, so those who have committed themselves to, surrendered in the sense of committed themselves to. Athava, yesham antahkarane pranavocharanam sada bhagati, tesham anugrahi yaha pranavashabdaha. Okay, so, Tasya upadesha ninadaihi. So that is how we have to understand this phrase. Natanugrahi pranavopadesha ninadaihi keki yogiyate. So what do we understand from the first half? There are three phrases which are common in describing Nilakantha, means Mayura. So one is Shikhi, the other is Kalapi, the other is Keki. Now, Parameshwara can also be described, okay, in this particular way if you see him. Okay. Akashena Shikhi Samasta Paninam Netra Kalapi Nataha Nugrahi Pranavopadesha Ninadaihi Kitihi yogiyate. Then Shyamam Shaila Samudbhavam Ghana Ruchim Drishtva Natantam Muda. This is the fourth description. Natantam Muda Natantam means the one who dances with great joy. Okay? The one who dances with great joy, obviously Nilakantha, the Mayura will do. Okay? So Mayura will joyfully dance. When will it dance? Ghana Ruchim Shyamam Shaila Samudbhavam Drishtva. So this can be understood either describing as Parvati, okay, Shaila Samudbhavam. Okay. So Shaila Samudbhavam Parvati. Okay. Shyamam. So she is Shyama, Krishna Varna. Now Ghanaruchim. So Ghanaruchim Shyama. So Ghanaruchim Shyamam, if you want to explain to Parvati, Ghanaiva Ruchihi Ghanaruchi means, so the dark complexion is akin to that of a thick cloud. Okay. So Ruchihi means hue. So Ghanaruchim Shyamam Shaila Samudbhavam. Okay. So Ghanaruchim Shyamam Shaila Samudbhavam. Now the Shaila Samudbhava can also be an epithet which can be used to refer to clouds, because that is where the condensation will be facilitated. Okay. So the facilitation of the condensation of the water molecules which are there will be facilitated by mountains, and therefore Shaila Samudbhavam. So Drishtva Natantam Muda. So that particular Nilakantha aham bhaje. And finally Vedanto Pavane Vihara Rasikam Nilakantham bhaje. All beautiful poetic composition. So Adi Shankara has displayed great. In fact, one of the scholars was saying, when I just said, he is a Sahitya Pandit. So he says, so I said that I'm taking classes on Sivanandalahari, he was just saying, there is no better Kavya than Sivanandalahari. Okay. So we look at some of the beautiful description that we find here. So,
Akashe Nashiki Samasta Parinam Netra Kalapi Nata Mudrahi Prano Padesha Nimadai Kiti Yogiyate Shyamam Shaila Samudbhavam Ghanaruchim Drishtva Natantam Muda Vedanto Pavane Viharasikam Tam Nilakantham bhaje.
okay, I think we'll stop. Sarve Psikhina Sandhu, Sarve Santa Niramayaha, Sarve Bhadrani Pashantu, Makaschad Dukha Bhagave. Shanti Shanti Shanti.